Hi, I'm Jim Simmons, a trainer at SoftEd. For today's whiteboard session, I want to show you how teams use burn-up charts and burn-down charts to plan and track the progress of their projects. A burn-up chart or a burn-down chart allows you to see as you're progressing whether or not your estimates for team velocity or hours achieved is tracking successfully or not. Here's a burn-up chart for a very simple project. We've analyzed all of our stories, and they add up to 100 story points of scope for the project. Our team velocity is estimated at 10 story points per iteration that we'll achieve. That means that in 10 iterations, we'll finish the project. So this is the ideal track for the project. Now let's get started. We do the first iteration and we were able to achieve 8 story points of achievement. It's not the 10 we had planned, but it's not the end of the world. Let's keep going. Let's see what we come up with. So we do the next iteration and we get 10 points done. Hey, that's pretty good. Maybe we're on track. We do the next iteration and we get 7 story points done. That's not quite working to plan. Let's do one more, see how we go. We get another 7 story points done. It's clear that 10 is not the velocity of this team. We average it all out. It looks like 8 is probably more likely the velocity for this team. That tells us that at the end of 10 iterations, at our deadline, we're going to be about 20 story points shy of achieving all the scope we planned, or we're going to need another 2 or 3 iterations to finish all of that scope. But at this point, we can start to communicate to our stakeholders that we need to talk about scope reduction or extension, or the third option, what do we need to do to increase our velocity to get up to where we need to be? Probably we need to add some resources, which we can do at this stage of the project, but if we wait until here, there's no way we can add enough resources to finish on time. If your team is using estimated hours for the project as opposed to story points, a burn-down chart can be helpful. You start with the total number of hours to complete the project. For this example, 3,000 hours. And if this team is able to achieve 300 hours of features or project work per iteration, we should finish in 10 iterations. So we track the number of hours remaining at the end of each iteration. At the end of the first iteration, we have 2,800 hours of remaining work, so we're a little behind schedule. At the end of the second iteration, we have 2,650 remaining. At the end of the third, 2,360, and so on and so on. 1,900, 1,700. At this point, we can recognize that this project is not going to get all of its scope finished at this time. We'll need another 2 or 3 iterations at this rate of achievement, 300 per. We're looking at closer to 250, 270, okay? When you first start using burn-up charts, burn-down charts, it probably won't feel comfortable. It'll be awkward. You won't be sure how to analyze the results of what you're getting, but stick with it. Look at your progress at the end of every iteration. Analyze how it's going. Look to make modifications and think about what you need to change. Over time, your teams will be able to improve the accuracy of their team velocity and of their understanding of how many hours of work they can achieve per week, but only by tracking and following and analyzing and keeping your charts up to date. Work at it, it pays off. Thanks.